Gaffney, formerly OSD and CNA. I keep hearing that we don't get more money, we have to change the strategy. Chris just talked about that strategy. Would you give me in the capsule what that strategy is? And don't say pivot to Asia, because pivot to Asia was simply leaving what we had there while reducing in Europe and in the Middle East. What strategy are you talking about, and what is to be changed?
Thanks, Hank. When I say our strategy, I think the short version of it is primacy. That's what the political scientists would call it, and that implies that the United States will maintain such a vast military capability, not just for our own defense, but also for the defense of others, which is in effect to discourage them from defending themselves. This was the premise after the end of World War II, and I think it's been remarkably successful. It has, in fact, reassured our allies and discouraged them from spending more on their own defense. And so, not surprisingly, they don't spend very much. They don't see the need, right? They just don't see the need. And I think that was not an unreasonable strategy in the course of the Cold War, especially in the early days of the Cold War, when, after all, they were broken, and we were fighting a common enemy. I think it is harder to sustain over time as our share of global economic output declines in relative terms, and when we bump up against the domestic priorities, which we are now, we see that the American people are generally not inclined to pay for other people's defense if they believe